Welcome to Bunnings Mathematicians. We are in the lattice aisle, so we are doing the lattice strategy, and I brought some mates with me. This is Becky. She likes to estimate because she's a gardener, so roughly is okay for her. You know, roughly how many plants, roughly how deep to dig the hole, roughly how many bags of soil. It's all rough and estimate. It's just fine. But then Belinda is carpenter, so she measures twice and cuts once. So she is exactamundo. So we are going to do some lattice multiplication with decimals this time, because we've already done whole numbers a few times. But now we're going to move on to decimal land. We've actually got the lattice price here, which is $103.95. So may as well do that. $103.95. I'm going to remove the decimal point from that and then deal with that later. And let's say we need probably a reasonable amount across a whole property. If you were doing that, well, how long are they? Becky, I might need your help here, but I might also need yours, Belinda, too. More of your area with carpentry, but this is gardening as well. So they are, these ones, 2.4 meters. If an average property in the burbs is about 15 meters, 20 meters wide, might need 10 for one border, and then it might be 30 meters deep. So that's 60 for both sides of that, plus the 20 meters on both sides, so 100. Oh, that would be too easy. So let's say we need to have some extra wastage and cuts and things like that. So, but the property is a bit smaller, maybe it's more like 25 meters, so let's go like 97 of them. So then we need to go, $103.95 times 97 of these to cover the full boundary of our property. What do we think that's going to be? So first we're always going to estimate. So I'm going to take Becky's line and think roughly what's that going to be. So let's round that down to 100 and round that up to 100. Pretty straightforward. And then you can use the power of 10 as in 4 zeros essentially. And then you leave your space. So we think it's about $10,000 to lattice the top of your fence. That's a lot. Let's see what it actually will be if we took these to the register. So we've got now a lot of digits here actually for this one. Just try to level that out so it's a bit more even. We've got 5 digits this way, so 5 columns, but just 2 rows. So we only needed 97 of them. And so we've set up our grids, but now we need to set up our diagonals. So from this corner, we draw the diagonal, this corner, diagonal, this corner, diagonal, this corner, diagonal. This corner is going to be a sharp diagonal. Apologies. Probably wasn't the best drawn, but that'll do the trick. It'll still work. So 7 5s. So we multiply in coordinates basically. 7 5s, 35. 5 9s or 9 5s, depending on how you want to think of it. Just make sure your digits are nice and neat, because when you go to add, it can get messy. So keep it as neat as possible. You don't have to do it in any particular order. You can do one times table at a time, so one row and then the other row. Probably makes sense to keep it together. So 81 for 9 9s, 9 3s, 27. All the zeros are going to be nice. Let's put those zeros in. 9 1s, 9, 1 7, 7. So you can sort of knock out your preferred ones first. Then it feels less intimidating, right? 7 3s, 21. And 7 9s, 63. So that's how it ended up going. Now we add it in its place values. So diagonal, 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 diagonal. It is a diagonal strategy. So this diagonal just has 5. Don't add these numbers. Just the ones in the diagonals, not the ones around the box. And then we've got 5 and 3 and 3, that's 11. Add 1 to there for the extra 10 of these is one of those. We've got a 6 here and a 4 here, that will make it 10. And then we've just got 3 left in that diagonal. We've got a 2 here and an 8 here, that'll be a 10. Then an 8 left in that diagonal. We've got a 10 here, so we put the 0 and the 10, essentially 10 of these is one of those for place value. 10 of the earlier place value is one of the next place value. Got another 10, as we were expecting, and then the 1 there. So well, let's just write that out. 1008315, but that can't be our answer because we were not expecting to pay $1,008,315 dollars. So if we think about this, let's just write this a bit bigger. We've got that number from the Lattice, but then we look back at our estimate. We were expecting to pay 10,000, or if we write it with because I don't like to use commas because you can, but the Australian convention is spaces. We're expecting $10,000 it cost. So where should the decimal point go? You could use the rule 2 out, 2 in, so it goes there, because 2 places out, 2 places in. But I like better to think, well, what would actually make sense here? That was 315. Would it make sense there? You know, if I put it there, that would mean the number is $100,831.50. That just doesn't make sense because it wasn't going to be a $100,000 bill. And if I put it there, the bill would be $1 something, would be $100 something. Bunnings isn't going to be happy with that. Or it'd be $1,008. Bunnings, again, not going to be happy with that. So it has to be about 10,000, which it would only make sense to go there, and that it is $10,083.15 for that. You could have also done 100 times that and then just taken away 3 of those. So you could have done essentially that it would be 100 times that. So you write it out. So that would be that, because the power of 10 means basically the decimal point removes, because everything moves 2 places higher in its place value. So it would have been 10,395. Take away 103, take away 103, take away 103. And then if we take away roughly $3 and then add 15 cents back, potentially, will that work? Take away $3, add 15 cents. It should be the same. Yep, let's try it. So take away 309. So 10,395. Take away 309. 10,080. And take away 1085. Add 186. Sounds right. But then we've got to take away the extra 3. So 10,083. Just rub this out so we have some room. And then we add 15 cents. Yeah, ended up being right. 10,083.15, 10,083.15. So to be honest, that was probably the better strategy. Just times it by 100 and then take away 3 groups of it.